Hello, you've reached Hacked Games. My name is Jeremy, and this is episode 10 of our Reformed Fiend playthrough of Pathfinder. Last episode, we took care of the basement of the Worm Mansion, and the other side, the Tower of Estrade, and the Silken Threaded Atelier. This episode, we're going to try to finish up the Worm Mansion here, and then we'll head for Darren's party. So let's go. Let's take just a quick look to make sure I remember what was all going on here.
We'll make things right.
I'm going to drink this real quick.
A bright future awaits us.
There are a couple
What's on your mind?
arguably difficult fights on this level. I would say they're at least tricky, or at least one tricky fight, if not. The other one can be tricky depending on how the stealth works. You guys run in here. So we don't like that this guy is feared near our ranged guys, because once he unfears, he's just going to attack the closest thing to him. Oh, great. Alright. I was just thinking of trying to have her move back, but luckily we didn't need to. There's another one of those magic essences.
I'm gone.
What do we have for healing on?
I like you.
Best healing spell, but you can only cast it once a day. Per person, I guess. So I don't really want to use any buffs for this next fight. And then we kind of do after this one. So let's have the elephant charge in over here.
Be careful, everyone.
And then, yeah, well, Ember, I need you to sleep this guy if you can. That's fine. We're essentially just going to make our way towards the ranged over here. I'm going to have the elephant... Oh, really just... I needed him to be up here for... Interestingly enough, our dog was being a tripping machine that encounter. Alright, this one, positioning is less important than the next one, but we still want to kind of position. We're going to try to open a pit in the middle of the floor here, and we do kind of want to position our people according to that. So what we're going to do here is we're going to try to have Lan...
I'm curious.
Find and shoot somebody here.
Ready.
Like that guy.
You've crossed the wrong Yet another obstacle.
And what I should have done there, I usually do, is start casting this before I start having him shoot, because you can have it drop down pretty much right as soon as he gets off the mark there. Alright, everyone's off hold. We're going to gank this guy now. Someone did fall in the pit. I think someone fell in the pit. Yeah, the Slayer fell in the pit. He's really kind of the tricky guy here, so he's the one that I guess we want to fall in the pit, but we want to trap him up here so that I don't know if he studied land. No, he didn't. But anyways, he can do some serious damage if you kind of let him. But if you don't, he's kind of a he drops really easy. So we'll sit here for a little while and see if he takes some damage from... Oh, there, he studied our elephant. Get rid of this pit. And that's fine. I don't care if he studies the elephant. As long as he's not studying and going after one of our rear row people. You can see that, I mean, with fair regularity, we're hitting for, you know, in the range of 20. And a lot of that is just the plus 14 that we're getting from... Nope, not her. Well, most of it's our strength, I guess. A lot of that is the mutagen, though. Well, two of that is the mutagen. Oh, I forgot. When you have a two-handed weapon, it's 1.5 times. That's why our strength is at 10 currently. But if we happen to crit, we just do a silly amount of damage. We'll pretty much one-shot anything currently if we crit it, because it'll be, you know, times 4, so we'll be in the hundreds already.
No, what is that?
We are going to have Nenio take a look over some scrolls here real quick. Specifically this one and this one we really want. Now we can scribe the stone. So I don't actually ever want to cast regularly stone skin just because of the diamond dust usage, but we can go ahead and scribe scrolls of stone skin, and eventually Nenio does get an ability at level 10 here that allows her to use her caster level based on the scroll that she's using. So it saves us diamond dust. We'll just have scrolls laying around of stone skin, and probably communal stone skin when we get that, that we can just use, Nenio can use anyways, and get the full benefit of at her caster level from that scroll. Generally, that's going to be the negative that you're supposed to receive from using a scroll, is that the level on the scroll is less than
Always
the level
be ready
on
for
the
worst.
Oh, I'm going to remember to do
out?
this here. The level on the scroll is going to be less than the level that your caster is currently at. Let's get some buffs up for this one. This one is probably the, out of this and the party, this is the tougher
Let us
one,
bide our time.
in my opinion. So let's see. We're going to do, this is only for a minute. I'm going to do the, oh, no, stop it. I
Our
didn't mean
duty
to do that.
calls.
Put that on yourself.
You can trust me.
We'll fortune a couple people in this one. We are going to cast Bark Skin on him.
I'm all ears.
Hurricane Bow.
Soot is restless. I wonder why.
I should have had this up on him anyways.
I'm always open to ideas.
You're only level 4, that's why
You require my unbiased
I was like, where's
opinion?
my haste? But don't have that at level 4. Gosh. I guess I should just be using my... Oh. Let those go off.
Rely on me.
This is a standard action, so I'm going to use this too.
Observe the others. Learn from their mistakes.
I heed the voice of the spirits.
I am going to cast on him, actually.
Meditate on your mistakes.
We'll
I
make
you
things
feel
right.
better.
We'll give the dog a little bit of a buff here too.
Yes. Anything
Okay,
new?
I think then you'll get this open a little bit.
You are my favorite aid.
Definitely don't need that there. So they're ready to go. I think I want to... Oh, she didn't finish hers.
sentence.
We'll give her a little more. So now, we want land.
Doubt
and we
is
want
the heart's
land
greatest
to
challenge.
Go ahead and stealth. We're going to do kind of the same thing here. We're going to walk in, we're going to shoot someone. And this time I'm going to remember to... start casting this. So, I think he's going to be able to shoot from here.
Survive Did we find trouble?
Oh,
No.
my
Bait.
pause went in at the wrong time. Everyone was not on hold either. I must have just put land on hold. So one of the things that we have here is we have a couple babaos. The babaos do have sneak attacks, and they're going to do some serious damage to you via sneak attacks if you let them. So you want to clear out the Abercandu and the Cambion really quickly because you can almost one-hit them. The babaos have quite a few more hit points and quite a few more abilities that allow them to stay in power. Let's see here. Well, for these guys, we're just gonna... We'll just do that. So we will go ahead and try to just burn this guy down quick. Oh, they did at least get one sneak attack off on us. Did they both fall in the pit though? I believe they did both fall in the pit. We're actually going to reset here. We'll back up a little bit. Is he gonna... Yeah. I think I'm actually going to get rid of the pit now. It's just going to cause more trouble than it's worth.
Attack! Aim carefully.
We murdered them pretty quickly.
Follow my steps.
Yeah, let's go pick up all this junk. And that pretty much completes the manor here.
Let's head out. Something here.
We apparently can't see anything, but we failed a perception check over here, but that's not super important.
I hope you appreciate this.
We'll go ahead and summon Worm here. The mansion is clear. You're alive. Fine work. My secret door remains unopened. Fantastic. I wasn't too late. If you will follow me. Family secrets about to be revealed. It's so thrilling. So if we had made that perception check over here, we would have seen that this was a secret door. However, you can't open it, so it doesn't really matter.
Let us be careful.
We're going to steal everything in this wardrobe here first.
Am I not?
Painting depicts a thin blonde boy with sickly pale skin. Caption reads, Horgus Worm, 9 years old. A happy family, Horgus, an unknown half-elf, and their dark-haired young daughter. The painting looks a lot like Camellia. The paintings are right where I left them. Very good. Horgus Worm thanks you for your help. There's something off about the paintings in front of you. The blonde-haired boy in the Worm family colors doesn't look like Horgus at all. The family portrait depicts Horgus alongside an unknown half-elf and a little girl who bears a striking resemblance to Camellia. Who's that in the paintings, Horgus? So you've noticed. It seems there's no point in hiding it anymore. You see, I have two secrets. Camellia is, in fact, my daughter, and I am not the real Horgus Worm. You're not Horgus Worm? My real name is Darian Witt. My parents were the servants of the real Worms at their mansion on the eastern edge of Mendiv. The Worms were generous and noble, but short-sighted. They burned through most of their fortune on charity, when instead they should have taken better care of guarding the mansion. When I was 10 or so, I used to play in the garden with the real Horgus Worm, who was just my age. I have no idea where the demons came from. Horgus ran to the mansion, and I bolted in the opposite direction. He was captured and killed, and I wasn't. Crusaders came from the nearest city to aid us, but I was the only one who survived. They asked me my name, and I said I was Horgus Worm. That's the whole story. Such a heart-wrenching tale. It never fails to bring tears to my eyes. You are in no position to judge me, Camellia. You're right, I'm not. We'll go for the good option. You were just a scared child. I've got nothing but sympathy for you. Besides, your lies didn't hurt anyone. Never mind. I'd only like to assure you that your claim about not hurting anyone is absolutely correct. The vast fortune of the Worms had no rightful heirs. If there had been any heirs, I would most definitely have transferred ownership to them. You committed a crime, and since then you have tried to atone. But, let me guess, no matter how good you do, the guilt stays with you. It's true. How do you know this? I also made a mistake as a child. Mine was much more serious than yours, in deed and in consequences. Many years passed before I learned to be at peace with it, so I am in no position to judge you. It is difficult for me to speak openly about the secrets which I have kept all these years. I have been hostage to them my entire life, strange as that sounds. Camellia is your daughter? Yes, illegitimate, that is to say. She has resided in this house since birth. The staff thought she was a niece, or the daughter of a friend who died in the Crusades. I never disabused them of their notions. Her mother, Iris, was a half-elf of humble origins. She worked in the gardens here. I wanted to unite the Gorm family with another noble line. The Gorm name could not be permitted to mix with commoners and thereby plunge into insignificance. Iris did not protest, and we successfully hid our connection. And when Camellia was born, I did not claim her as my own. As far as Mendev knows, Camellia is the daughter of a Gorm family servant who died over 10 years ago. And before you start telling me what a terrible father I am, I want to tell you something. My daughter wanted for nothing. All her whims were fulfilled as quickly as they arose. I hired the best teachers and bought her the best books. She always ate well and had warm clothes. Isn't that what a parent does? You've discovered my most terrible secret. Father cares so much about the Gorm name that he raised me in our mansion, hiding me away from the whole world. I'll always be grateful to my father for everything he's done for me, even if Mendev society disapproves of some of his decisions. Would it be insolent of me to beg you for your discretion regarding what you know about us? I promise to keep your secret, Camellia. Please accept my humblest thanks. Keeping secrets is easiest when you don't know about them in the first place, or if you possess the unique ability to selectively forget information like me. What was I saying? Never mind. Keeping secrets is easy and even easier if you're dead. What's it like to live your whole life under someone else's name? When I was a boy, I used to hate Horgus. The condescension most of all. The pity on his face. His smile when he called me to join him in his games. The difference in our birthright wasn't fair. Envy clouded my mind. When the demons killed him and not me, and I thought it was a gift of fate, I seized my good fortune with both hands and never let go. When I told them my name was Horgus Worm, the only heir to the vast fortune of the Worm family, on that day, life was fair. Unfortunately, it took me many years to see the generosity behind the condescension, and feel the compassion behind the pity. I discovered far too late that Horgus was my friend, even when I didn't feel myself his. I never accepted the hand of friendship he offered until it was far too late. But now, what can I do? Reveal the truth, reject the name, and allow it to sink into oblivion? Would my friend Horgus want this? I bear the name of Horgus Worm with the pride and dignity it deserves, as a banner on the battlefield. I will multiply its merits. The Worm family will not be forgotten. I still serve Horgus Worm. Well, what are you planning to do now? Well, first and foremost, I shall reward you handsomely for your help. And then I shall burn these portraits. I have kept them all this time out of misplaced sentiment, but they serve no purpose now. My ravaged home will likely be picked to the bone, and this secret room will inevitably be discovered. I don't want these paintings to be seen by anyone else. I see. Well, you certainly earned your payment. Here, it was a pleasure doing business with you. Camellia, I can tell from your face that you enjoyed fighting the demons in this worthy party. I only ask one thing. Are you certain? She just smiles at him. Well then, clearly I can no longer keep you safe. Our house is destroyed, our servants scattered, are dead. But now, follow me. We'll make sure that no one ever again discovers the secrets of Horgus Worm. Well, that fight was a little bit anticlimactic. I was expecting to have to try it a couple times, actually. I've been playing around with it on Unfair, though. That's probably why I was expecting a little bit more from it than
I'm gone.
Is being offered on Core. Is there anything else I forgot up here? No, we look like we're good. We look like we're good here, so we'll just go run for the door. And now to a party house. We're just going to go in here. I don't think we need to regain the buffs that we used up. This is more of a bit of a free-for-all fight than anything else. So, let's go in here and up here first.
The light, take you!
Where's my cleave? He must not have been close enough or something. Oh, go here. Pooch. Can you come in? There you go. Sounds like Darren is having a lively party over there.
Follow my steps.
Alright, let's see about topping off some health here.
Trust in yourself.
Our elephant's getting pretty low. How far away from 5 at the Paladin are we? Oh, very far away. So, once we hit 5, though, we will retroactively regain all the Paladin levels as effective levels for the pet. I don't think I really need to do anything else there. Ember, why did you run way down there?
Huh? Oh, yes, what?
Let's see.
You require my unbiased must end.
Don't really need more of those.
Open your heart to me.
We'll go ahead and use the, well, I'll stick chant on it. We'll use the fortune buff in here from Camellia.
We should move.
I will help where I
The
can.
road awaits.
Now we'll go ahead and take our Hellfire strikes as well. What a splendid occasion! Oh, look! Such darling little creatures. Wonderful. Now brace yourself for the smell of your own blood. Your ghastly eyes. Alright. So, I'm actually going to have Sela go this way. We'll have both the pets. Make sure they're going that direction. I am going to use this real quick. And I'm going to have Sela cast Fortune on us. We'll be in range of her cackle. I'm kind of interested to see, since this is a move action, if it'll let me move while casting it next turn. This turn it won't, but... Nenio, come over here. Ember, come over here. Where is Darren? Sela. This is who I'm looking for.
No glory without risk!
Ember, I want you to cast on this wizard. And Nenio, I want you to also cast on this wizard. You're kind of running around like a Gomer in there. I don't want you to do that. Let's see, we'll move. Can we go about that far and give her some space? That's just so she will stop taking attacks of opportunity from this guy, because otherwise she probably won't. Lan, you go ahead and... Well, you were supposed to use that already, but whatever. Where is that Cambion wizard? Oh, did he run out in the hallway? Alright, whatever. Then yeah, you really don't need to get that close.
Into the fray!
Now we kind of need him dead because we need the tanks or some of the melee enemies to help out with these two guys. Based on how the battle has turned out. Oh, I didn't even see this guy. Who is he fighting? He's fighting Ember. I don't want you to fight Ember. He might be fighting this guy. It looked like Ember, though. And go ahead and use this again. And Nenio's a bit too close to him.
I'm alright. I'm alright.
And that's that. We got a couple low knowledge world checks that I don't even think we can fail.
Worthy of praise.
That one is the intricate patterns on the harp depict stars, kind of the signs of Desna.
It went
And this one is the portrait of Galfrey, or Darren's cousin, as she's otherwise known.
Greetings, valiant stranger who has just burst into my life. I am the master of this house, Count Daron Kale, myriad mellifluous monikers Arunde. No need to introduce yourself. I find remembering insignificant details, such as the name of passing acquaintances, such a bore.
Wow. Bona fide blue bloods and unparalleled aristocracy. All this makes me itch to do something really crass. Ooh, like blow my nose on the curtains.
What are you waiting for, my squamous squire? The curtains in this room are velvet, but we have some excellent silk ones with gold thread elsewhere in the house. Take your pick. My soft furnishings are yours to do with as you wish. I'm quite sick of the place, truly. I shall either sell it, or burn it to the ground and build a new mansion in its place. Now that we've finished with the niceties, tell me this. How did all those thrice-damned demons end up at my soiree?
Canabras lies in ruins. Daskari killed Terendelev, the Wardstone has been captured, and you're asking me why demons gate-crashed your party?
Canabras in ruins. Daskari. Well, 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 and I was already lamenting the lack of excitement at my little banquet. Although it must have been tolerable enough if we didn't get notice of a great hulking demon attacking a dragon just outside the window. It seems as though Daskari's occasion was altogether more of a crush than mine, if you will pardon the pun.
I expect a little gratitude for saving you.
Of course, where are my manners? There. You can also poke about the house and claim whatever takes your fancy. Though I imagine some of you already had that in mind.
What should I know about you, Count, apart from the fact that you're highborn and very rich?
As a child, I had my very own pony, but I always dreamed of having a lamb. I was never allowed one. Sheep were seen as peasant animals, utterly unsuitable for the scion of a noble line. The trauma haunts me to this day. I think of it every time I have roast lamb for dinner.
I'm sorry that happened to you. Such a sad story.
I had not even the slightest intention of upsetting such a lovely child.
I'm not lovely. Some people have even called me a scarecrow before.
That's patently absurd. Why, you can't possibly be a scarecrow with a crow following you around. I'm sorry if I failed to sate your curiosity. I loathe talking about myself to people I don't know, even more to those I do know. The only thing worth knowing, aside from the fact that I am highborn and filthy rich, is that I dislike Puritans and demons in equal measure. Well, perhaps demons a tad more.
You don't seem very concerned about the city's fate.
I have no friends here whose untimely demise I would care to mourn. The only alarming thing is how easily all this happened. I don't care for the thought that demons could come calling at my door at any moment. And just think, everyone had so much faith in the Wardstones gifted by Iomede's herald, and in the might of our tamed dragon, as if there had been no Dresden or a dozen other routes where the demons overcame every defense.
The Orendes are one of the most ancient and noble families in Mendiv. They are related by blood to Queen Galfrey herself. The Count is the last remaining member of his dynasty. The rest all perished around 10 years ago. In the tragedy at the family seat, Heaven's Edge, the demons got past the defenses and massacred everyone inside.
I thank you for providing your friend with that helpful summary, my lady. I believe I've seen you before, with that hilarious buffoon Horgus Gwyrm. I sincerely hope you are not engaged in any kind of sordid arrangement with him. The thought of something so splendid in proximity to something so grotesque makes me feel quite ill. You deserve a better fate than that, no doubt.
Your civility knows no bounds, Count. I most assuredly do not have any arrangement with Master Gwyrm.
You can go to Defender's Heart. It's under the protection of Irabeth Tirabade and the Eagle Watch.
I thank you for the invitation, but I am not quite as desperate as I may seem. At times, it is better to be surrounded by the repugnant mugs of demons than the sour and dour physiognomies of Iomede's righteous paladins.
What about my physiognomy? Sour enough for his lordship? Don't worry, another few minutes with the dazzling Count here, and it'll sour like week-old milk.
What's this? An attractive paladin with a sense of humor? You're a veritable walking scandal. Either way, my mansion is now safe. I have a pair of half-decent guards. I just need to drag them out of the storeroom and bring them to their senses. I ordered them to drink a love potion, you see? For reasons which seemed extremely witty at the time and in the state of inebriation I then found myself in. They can guard the house while the valorous paladins beat back the demon assault. They will beat them back, yes? As regards myself, I feel like stretching my legs. I know rudimentary divine spells, I am no friend to demons, and I elevate any society that I deign to grace with my presence. I shall accompany you. Only for a short time, of course. I have no desire to remain at the vanguard for a protracted period. What say you, my ephemeral but highly diverting acquaintance? After all, Lord Descari spoiled my party. I now burn with the desire to spoil his.
Thoughts?
I don't like this guy much at all. Not even because of his personality, but just... I sense something dark about him.
I guess thumping him one next time he comes out with more aristocratic witterings is not allowed? All the more reason to take him with us. If we don't kill him, the demons surely will.
He has all these friends at his party, and he still looks so lonely. We can take him with us. Maybe it will make him feel better?
The Count's presence can only benefit us. I think we should say yes.
What? You're asking about whether to take this boy with you? The question lies outside the bounds of my interest. By the way, did you know that the young scions of noble families often sponsor the research of young scientists? What laudable passion for knowledge. True, the size of their donations bears a direct correlation to the hazardousness of the experiment being conducted.
He doesn't look like a whiner, and he can hold his own, so he won't be dead weight.
Deal.
Capital. Good acquaintances that begin and end at just the right moment often leave the most pleasant memories. Wouldn't you say?
And we're just going to have Darren go ahead and head back to Defender's Heart there. Thank you, stranger, for saving us from the demons and for your timely entrance. I swear, I don't know who has enraged me more today, the demons or the oh-so-affable master of this house. I'm a friend of Ilky's. He asked me to find you and protect you. Ilks is alive? And he's made a brilliant new friend. It's a shame it had to happen now, when the city's under siege by the demons, and those pig-headed inquisitors are pursuing us instead of doing something useful. How did you end up here? Hulrun's hounds found me and Wallflower, and they tried to capture us. I distracted them, then I lost them in the streets before charming my way into this party. Even if the inquisitors saw where I went, they wouldn't have been allowed past the door. Hulrun holds no sway among certain members of the aristocracy, so I picked a good place to lie low. That is, until the demons showed up. Do you know where the third of your group is? Wallflower? No idea. If he knows about the demon attack, he won't just hide away. He'll go out and try to help people. If he doesn't know, well, you have no chance of finding him. He's a pretty skilled mage, but I doubt he'll risk using magic. He'll probably do something the Inquisitors won't expect. Pose as someone, disguise himself. We had a great selection of masquerade costumes in the temple. I know. I'll tie my shawl around your arm. Wallflower gave it to me. He'll spot it right away and know you're a friend. If I were you, I'd look for him in Market Square. Tell me about yourself. I'm Araka, traveling bard and follower of Desna. Many of my fellow bards are rootless misfits who wander the world, unwilling or unable to live a normal life. For me, that's only partly true. I have a wonderful family, my mother, father, grandmother, and brother. Right now, they are far away and I'm sure they miss me. But they have always supported me in my vocation, and they let me be free to roam, because they know that I couldn't be happy while there was so much of the world I hadn't explored, and so many places where people might need my help. A bard? That's great. I love singing. Will you sing me a song? Sorry, I don't think this is a good time to sing a long, sweeping epic, but I will gladly sing for you some other time. What can you tell me about the master of the house? About the Count? I've wanted to smash a jug over his head about 5 times already today. He just brings that feeling out in people. It's one of his many talents. Other than that, well, you've probably already heard about the Rende family. All I can say is that the Count's servants flee this place like rats from a sinking ship. No one ever stays here long, even though he pays them extravagantly. I even heard one servant complain that he always feels uneasy in the Count's home, like someone was watching him. Unseen eyes staring at the back of his head, even if his back is to the wall, even if he turns around. I don't know if I believe all these tales, but I'm just telling you what I heard. Why did you decide to break into the Wardstone and cast magic on it? You put your lives at risk. Your information could have been a trap sent by the demons. But it wasn't a demon trap. You know, living next to the World Wound and seeing the powerlessness of the Crusaders, it's very hard. We've been trying to defeat the demons for hundreds of years now, and we have nothing to show for it. I think Queen Galfrey and the other leaders think that we can defeat evil if we line up our soldiers in perfect columns and send them marching off with a stirring battle cry. We just need a few more soldiers, a little more discipline. We've been marching for 100 years, and it's always one step forward, 2 steps back. And while the soldiers are marching, people like Hulrun are seizing power behind their backs. His fanaticism and cruelty were forged in the same furnace as the Crusaders' righteousness. We will never defeat the demons if we keep trying to march down the same path. We need to change tack, to challenge our principles, trust our hearts and our friends, and not moldering doctrines. We need to listen to any entity that is willing to help us. My friends and I listened, and we trusted, and we tried to change something. At least we tried, even though it didn't work out. Great idea. Marching in straight lines won't work, so let's go attack the demons in a merry band of hopers and dreamers, brimming with enthusiasm and doing just whatever we feel like. When the demons see us coming, they'll die of hysterics and our victory will be complete. Naive children, that's what you are. But I admit, your words stir something in my soul. I wouldn't put you in charge of a military campaign, but I'd be proud to fight alongside you. Can you get somewhere safe on your own? It looks like the Inquisitors aren't busting down the door just yet, and they're not hiding under the bed. So I think I'm safe for now. I'll be fine on my own. I'll go to our temple, to Iltz. The Inquisitors must have searched there by now, and they won't go back a second time. Alright, well I have to go. Good luck. May Desna be with us. So I believe we'll just grab everything here. There's really only one thing that matters, and that's this decimation Bardish. Oops. I meant to... Didn't want to talk to you. I wanted to grab the knife off this corpse. Alright. That poor guy ran out in the hallway here, and the two demons got feared into there with him. They just murdered him. And we're off. So we have several sections of Market Square still to do. I think what we're going to do here first, though, is we're just going to pick up some stuff and bring it back to Defender's Watch, Defender's Reach. Defender's Heart, that's what it is. Alright, we're just going to take enough stuff so that we're heavy. I'm going to put this up here. I don't want to take too much, though. Go away. We're going to take these couple as well. And we're off. I want to see that one guy. Oh, I guess I wasn't looking in the right location. Elephant, you go up here. Everyone else can do whatever you're doing. Oh, I'm going to turn this off for now. I think I'm going to have to test that out on turn-based at some point. I can't really tell what it's doing on real time. As you can see, we're fairly overloaded, so we're wandering around very slowly. No one got fatigued, though. We're gonna have to grab Woljif and bring him with us this time. He's taking these damage because we must have put him away while he had a disease or something on him. Yeah, filth fever. We'll switch him maybe for Camellia or something like that. I'll do a quick sell real quick. I don't need that. I'm going to keep the magic stuff for now, though. We're going to go right away, before I forget, and pick up the both of the scroll scribing an alchemist kit here. Just so we can make those. Tell me again about the Abyss's corruption. As you know, the wound is a rift between Golarion and the Abyss, and all the evil that feeds the Abyss does the opposite in our world. It feeds on Golarion. So it is that even when we cannot see demons near us, our ultimate foe, the Abyss, is always surrounding us. Many soldiers fighting in the World Wound experience similar things. They suffer terrible nightmares, get no peace, and sometimes even lose their mind. But we are trained to help you with this affliction. By the will of Abadar, I have consecrated an altar here. The God's grace permeates the space around it, soothing one's soul and quieting thoughts during our rest. So if you find your nerves are fraying, seek out a holy place like this, approach it, and all the corruption will be cleansed. I think that I had already read that one. We are going to do a couple more conversations while we're here. We'll see if Erebeth has anything to say. I thank you for saving the esteemed citizens of Canabras, even though not all of them deserve to be saved. May Iomade forgive my words. I don't really mean that, of course. I just never fail to be astounded by the way that good people seem to perish, while the not-so-good prove to be incredibly, amazingly enduring. Even so, the Count did offer me his aid. He can't be all that bad. Yes, that's not like him at all. Joining the Crusades is a tradition among Mendevian nobles, but Darren Arende was never too keen on fighting demons. The Count has a certain reputation in Mendev. He's not a pleasant individual by any means, but he's not known for any particular villainy either. The Count enjoys a life of leisure, surrounded by a gaggle of sycophants who are always eager to badmouth the Queen at his command. He likes settling scores, too. There was a hero of the First Crusades, Sir Lant, a kind and honest man. After the end of his glorious career as a soldier, he became a wise mentor to the younger generation. He ran afoul of the Count somehow, perhaps by lecturing him about his idle lifestyle and lack of purpose. When Sir Lant died, the Count managed to buy a portion of his estate and ordered the knight's helmet to be reforged into a chamber pot. And of course, he didn't keep his little joke private. The Queen was particularly affronted by it because Sir Lant used to be her most loyal comrade in arms. I was there receiving an assignment from Her Majesty and witnessed the exact moment she found out about the helmet's fate. It's a small thing, but I could see the Queen's anguish at the travesty that had been made of her friend's legacy. That's what our Count is like as a person, and as for his talent for survival, do you know the story of Heaven's Edge? He was the only member of his family to escape with his life when the demons unleashed a magical plague at the Arendelle estate. Could you tell me more about the events at Heaven's Edge? I don't know all the details. It happened a while ago, back when I was a mercenary and had nothing to do with Canabras. I only know that there was a grand feast in honor of Darren's birthday, and all his relatives were invited, along with a few other distinguished guests. Everyone died from a mysterious disease someone had unleashed on the estate, including the servants, the guards, and a number of clerics and paladins. But the young Count survived, because of his healing ability, I suppose. Darren does possess an unusually brilliant talent, even if the application of his skills leaves much to be desired. Was he trying to provoke the Queen? Who knows? It could be some family matter. The Count is Her Majesty's cousin twice removed or something like that. But I think he simply enjoys infuriating people. Crusaders and Iomede's servants especially. Thank you for telling me this. My pleasure. I'm sorry you had to endure my grumbling. Watch these things happen to my city has put me in a foul mood. The Tower of Estrad has been cleared of demons. Great. The places where the demons have gathered need to be cleared one by one. Then they won't be able to stab us in the back when we take on the Grey Garrison. Thank you for your service. What is our strategy for attack on the Grey Garrison? I shall lead the rest of my forces in a frontal assault. This will distract the enemy enough to let you use the secret passage and reach the Wardstone. Destroy it before the demons turn Iomede's gift into a weapon of the Abyss. Most of the allies you found will join my forces, but you can expect a certain amount of support from them. The problem with Desnans is that you never know what to expect from those daydreamers. Their honorable prior, Ramian, claims he has had a vision in which his goddess was putting demons to sleep. I'd like to hope it wasn't merely a dream. The Order of the Flaming Lance counts among its members both valiant knights and masters of the occult. We are about to test an experimental ritual that they've developed. Should it all go according to plan, your party will have a serious advantage during the battle at the Grey Garrison. The ritual that they enact is a haste buff that lasts for, I think it's 2 hours. So they are one of the best allies to bring into this. In these dark days, the most unlikely allies join forces to fight the common foe. All tieflings are treated with prejudice in Canabras, let alone the smugglers and the thieves of their kind. And yet, they are on our side, and I'll make sure their contribution is not forgotten after the victory. They'll be of little use in open combat, but they'll help you spot secret doors and warn you about traps. This one starts the quest for ending the chapter, which we don't want to do yet. I have to go. Alright, let's just see. Was there anything... No, nothing for Sela to talk about. Our pets, we don't talk... Lan has a large amount of conversation that we have to go through. I believe Camellia has updated. Greetings. So you're Orgus's daughter. You've discovered my most terrible secret. Father cares so much about the Gorm name that he raised me in our mansion, hiding me away from the whole world. I'll always be grateful to my father for everything he's done for me, even if Mendev society disapproves of some of his decisions. Would it be insolent of me to beg for your discretion regarding what you know about us? This is actually the same dialogue that we received in the manor, I guess. Let's run back here. I just want to see if... Do we have anything new with Thorn? We do not. I believe there's a couple pieces of wool gifs. Ah, Chief, I've been trying to catch your eye, Wanted to ask you something. What did you want to ask me about? Chief, you and me, we're Tieflings, right? Demon spawn and all that. So tell me, why are you with them? With the Crusaders? With that Erebeth gal? We're no better than dirt to them. I'm going to select the good option. If we don't stop the demons, it will lead to a terrible disaster. That's why we should run away from you, so that we don't end up in the demons' hands. I'm sick of all these heroes, I know why you're here. You want them to love you, to pat you on the head, and call you a good little tiefling. So, different from all them other horned scum. I know you do. Everyone has their own agenda, even holy paladins. But you know what? They're never going to see you like that. To them, we'll always be dirty demon spawn. Are you really staying in the party, or just waiting for a chance to run off? As if I could. There are demons and dangers around every corner. Don't you worry, Chief. I'll work off my debt honestly. I won't stab you in the back or go on the run with your money. And if you buy my wares, I won't have to leave at all. This one just opens his inventory, so we're going to go, I want to know more about you. How much is more? Are your family tieflings too? My family? It's an interesting story, actually, but I don't tell it to just anyone. My father and mother had a bakery. Their life was great, but the gods never blessed them with any children. One day, my mother went to the river to wash some clothes and saw a basket floating downstream. Inside the basket was a baby, adorable and chubby and fast asleep. It was yours truly. In my hand was a note spritzed with expensive perfume that said, "Take care of my little angel." My mother brought me home, and she and my father realized right away that I was heaven sent. They raised me as their own. When I turned 15, my mother showed me my baby blanket. It was embroidered with the coat of arms of an unknown kingdom, all in gold thread. Ever since then, I've been looking for my real parents. But it's not easy. Traveling takes money. So if you have a few gold coins, I'll pay you back as soon as I find my real family. I give you my word. That doesn't sound very believable. Seriously? Usually everyone just believes everything I say. People love stories like that. A cute baby, a basket, a blanket. What's not to love? They look at me differently, as if I'm worth more just because the sheets I spit up on might have had a fancy coat of arms on them. If I was really a prince, I wouldn't be sitting around here, I can tell you that much. I'd have already gone to take what was rightfully mine. And then I'd come back with an army, so I could watch the guards and merchants who pushed me around all my life bow and scrape before me. But that's not going to happen. Want to hear the real story? The true story is boring. My family is human, both my father and mother. They used to live in a village nearby, I forget the name. When my ma had me, my old man got so mad he almost killed her. Pinned her to the wall and started asking questions, like why his son had horns and a tail. Well, my ma told him that her mother, my grandma, used to fool around with a demon. When he heard this, Daddy Dearest got drunk, trashed the house, and then took off. I don't remember any of this, of course. My grandma told me. I was about 3 years old when my mother brought me to Canabras and left me with my grandma. She said to her, "You and your demon have ruined my life. Now you handle him." Then she left. I haven't seen her or my dad since. She did leave a blanket, though. That part was true. But my grandma burned it because it was infested with lice. It wasn't even good enough to use as a rag. You think after all that my grandma saw the light, felt rightly ashamed and kissed my horns? I wish. People used to give her trouble for fooling around with a demon. She wasn't welcome anywhere, so she got angry. Normal kids get bedtime stories, see, but the only tales I got told were how my dad was worthless, my mom was a slut, and I was a demon spawn that no one cared about. She only kept me so I could help around the house and steal things she needed. So that's the truth. How did you become a Thiefling? I already was a Tiefling, and life made me a thief. I've been in this business since I was a kid. My grandma used to say, if you don't work, you don't eat. And she gave me as an apprentice to Iger, a Tiefling neighbor of ours. He was a cunning old geezer. He knew how to take a purse off somebody's belt, how to cut open bags undetected, even do some magic. I used to climb through basement windows and open doors from the inside while I was still small enough. And when I grew and stopped fitting through the windows, I decided I was done with my education. I repaid my grandma for everything she'd done for me, which was absolutely nothing. Why would I feed her if she wasn't bringing me any money? If you don't work, you don't eat. So I took off. I got bored of my teacher too. But when I as much hinted as leaving, he said I owed him for my education. So I just nodded, and then I joined the Owlbears, the gang that ran our district, and told them that Iger was working their territory. I don't know what happened to him, but I stayed with the Owlbears. Then their leader started giving me the cold shoulder. I did steal from him, but never that much. So I had to rat them out to the guards. Then I joined the Golden Hands. That was a good time, rich pickings. I would have stayed with the Golden Hands, but the Northmen promised me a bigger cut if I told them where the Golden Hands kept their loot. I'm no fool, of course, so I told them. After that, I only had one option, to join the Northmen. And then the family came. At first, no one took them seriously, calling them Thieflings and all that. But I felt it right away. They had power behind them, and they had more money. I'm always on the winner's side, Chief, and that's why I joined the Thieflings. And right on time, some thugs came from the capital and made the Northmen leave. The ones who survived are in the family now, too. Well, tell me about the Thieflings. Alright, I won't tell you everything, mind, but I can tell you a little. The Thieflings are Mendevian thieves. The gang was started in Mendev's capital by someone or other, and soon after they'd spread all over Galarian. They're also called the Family. You know why? Because us Tieflings are easy to spot. Wherever we go, guards always hassle us asking, "Are you lost or somewhat, Hornhead?" We usually say we're visiting family, and if they say, "Oh yeah? Who?" you give them the name of a local Thiefling who confirms everything, even if he's never seen you before in your life. That's why we're all brothers and sisters. There are rules. Who does what, who gets what cut. I won't say it's a lot, but they make it worth your while. They'll even heal you if you take an arrow. But the biggest no-no is this. You don't steal from the family. If you don't contribute to the shared pot, you'll get the cold shoulder. You won't be treated like family no more. And then everyone will hear that you went to visit some relatives who have a farm someplace. My best guess? The farm is in some underground well beneath Canabras where they breed grave worms. If Sister Karasme, our boss, looked the other way more often, I'd really be able to spread my wings. We are going to select a good option. Stealing from someone you call a sister? That's low. Birds fly low before a storm. I just survive as best I can. Imagine the situation, Chief. You're 7 years old, you come home and your own grandma, your family, is lying there drunk, and there's no food because she got wasted in the morning and didn't cook anything. And you know that she has a stash under the 3rd floorboard. You take this money, so as you don't starve to death, and then when she wakes up, she beats you because you shouldn't have taken it. You should have stole some food. You're a waste of space. That's something you can never understand, Chief. You only care about moral choices. You always know what's right and wrong. Brother, sister, grandma, mother. In real life, they're just words. What do you think of Canabras? It used to be such a hole. Then the Crusaders and refugees came here. And things started looking up. Although it depends who you ask, I suppose. Which is better steer clear of here, because Iomede's followers are ferocious, especially Holrun, the local inquisitor. He's a tough old goat. I didn't see it myself, but a servant girl at a tavern told me that her second cousin's son from his 3rd wife is a paladin, and he said that Holrun takes an unsheathed sword with him even to the privy, and when he sleeps, he puts it on the pillow next to him. And when he's in his cups, he strokes the blade and whispers sweetly to it, "You are my one true friend. You are the only one I can rely on." Irabeth's given us a hard time too. You as much as look at some nice little bauble and before you can think of taking it, Before your fingers even twitch, she's coming for you, with her nostrils flaring and her fangs glinting. Scary woman. But even she's better than Sister Karasme, our boss here in Canabras. By our, I mean the Thieflings. If you get caught by Erebeth, it's all out in the open. You go to prison, or you end up as worm food. But if you step on Karasme's toes, poof, you're just gone. Just like that. No one ever sees you again. All you hear is, he went to the family farm. Even if he's never had a family or a farm. You have demon blood in you. Do you feel drawn to the abyss? If it was anybody else asking, I'd keep my mouth shut. But you're a tiefling, so... yeah, I feel the pull sometimes. My mind starts buzzing with all kinds of thoughts, but it's all nonsense. I don't want to go to the abyss. I wouldn't last a second. Your shadow looks strange. What kind of magic is that? Ladies and gentlemen, roll up, roll up. No dark magic, no fraud. A trick without any deception. Ta-da! It doesn't do anything, it just looks scary. I remember when I was little, an old beggar showed me and my friends how to make shadow puppets. You put your fingers together in front of a light, and it makes the shadow of a deer or a dog or a dove on the wall. I tried so hard. I wanted to make the best shadow. And I did. It just happened. Funnily enough, that's the last time I had any real friends. They tried to stone me later, screaming at me, calling me a demon. A tiefling is always a demon to these wimps. Even the lowest ranking drunken gnome thinks he's better than me just because he hasn't got horns or a tail. The poorest beggar in the filthiest gutter thinks he's better than me. Most people would never show their shadow again after that first time, but I don't care. If stones start flying again, I'll just run. I'm used to it by now. We are going to select the good option. It's a harmless illusion, but you shouldn't show it to anyone. People hate what they don't understand. You're one of those people who are always scared of what might happen. You're not wrong, though. You better not talk to me in public at all, or you'll get tarred with the same brush. I used to have a so-called friend, a human. Well, he hummed and hawed and then told me to steer clear of him. His neighbors didn't like me. Then I sent the Owlbears gang to his house. You know, just one last visit to pick something up. I'd taken a shine to this nice pair of calfskin pants he had. A good lad like him wouldn't have need of them anyways. He found me later and gave me a hiding for my trouble. That's another story. Alright. I have to go. Let's talk later. So let's see. That covers everyone out here but Lan. We'll grab Nenia real quick, see if she has anything left. I'd like to clarify a few things about your new task. Oh, we have done all of Nenia's. Sante, do you have anything different to say? No, you do not. So we've got Lan, we've got the storyteller, we've got Darren, and we've got Ember. I'm going to go through the storyteller's stuff. Remind me why it is so important to cleanse the Wardstone of corruption. Oh, I'm sorry, we've already done that one. I want to know more about you. I am not surprised. A strange, peculiar-looking elf with unusual powers who comes from afar and calls himself a collector of stories? Such things usually spark some interest. I'll answer your questions. Who are you and where are you from? Before, I would have said I was a blacksmith from Coyote, who lost his sight and then found his true calling in a new craft, that of a story collector. But I've lately begun to suspect that those words are no more than a lie. It's quite the irony. I never thought I'd have cause to complain about my memory. It holds the stories of the entire world, but I've noticed more and more alarming signs recently. I encounter ancient stories and see myself in them. I don't remember those events, but stories can't lie. So it means that my memory is lying, and I intend to get to the bottom of it. I'm looking for proof that my visions are true, and the reason why my past has been hidden from me. You look ancient. I thought elves didn't get old. As you can see, we manage to live for many thousands of years. There may not be a single mortal in this world older than me. Anyway, it's not about time. It's about the stories I keep inside. There is so much suffering and sadness in this world, and in my stories, too. I've lived every one of them. I've drunk this bitter experience and accepted it in my heart. It's hard, the weight of all this suffering on my shoulders, but I wouldn't trade my burden for any other. Where did you get your strange powers? I've always got along well with things. I used to be a blacksmith. That I know for sure. I've always felt the essence of things, their spirit, for as long as I can remember. I have always been able to feel the traces of memories and feelings left on things by their former owners. I don't know where this gift comes from. Maybe having taken my sight, the gods granted me another sense. Why did you come to the World Wound? Searching for the truth about my real past has brought me here. I saw myself in others' stories. In them I was called the Elf in the Tower. Now I'm looking for this tower. My tower. Everywhere. I've been to many places. I've visited islands and deserts, but I haven't found it. There are very few uncharted territories on my map. The World Wound is one of them. How do you collect stories? The same way a court philanderer collects his conquests. The way a healer has a personal cemetery of patients he failed to save. The way every person, including you, has a box of secret, most precious experiences deep down in their soul that no one is allowed to touch. The world is not made of things or matter even. It's made of stories. They move from the past to the future, piercing our world at the point of here and now. They give meaning to everything. They are the meaning, and everything else is only the setting required for stories to exist. There is nothing more real and alive than a story, and anything real and alive can die or be destroyed, distorted, forgotten. But as long as I carry these stories with me, they will not be lost. This is why I don't often share my stories. By sharing one with you, I give you the right to tell it to others, to distort and embellish it advertently or inadvertently. How can I be sure you will keep its original purity? Stories travel from one person to another, they change, become distorted, turn into tall tales. That is why I keep the stories to myself. I have no more questions. I have a few questions about our encounter in Blackroom Library. Of course, I make no secret of why I came to the library. I was looking for something. What were you doing there? I was looking for a very old thing. Rumor has it some ancient scroll or a book page about the times of Earthfall is held in Canabras. According to the legend, it describes the last days of the proud kingdom of Keonin, later abandoned by the elves fleeing Galarian. I have a vague hope that the events described in it will shed some light on my past. Did you find what you were looking for? Alas, no, but I found proof that the book I'm looking for is in Canabras, or at least a part of it is. I see. Now, I believe even though this is grayed out, there are some things under here that we haven't. I'm going to just click through this one real quick. We have done that one before. But we have not done Trendless Scale or Fin. Why isn't Radiance in here? 1 second, I just want to make sure we have Radiance on us. I bet you it's... Oh. We do not have Radiance on us. What did I do with that? I do want to keep that on us at all times. Okay, we're going to present Radiance. What do you see in its past? Dresden is doomed. Demons attacked right when we lost the protection of the Sword of Valor. My city, my bastion of hope. We built you as a symbol that the lands mutilated by the Abyss could still be restored to mortals. Now you are perishing and there's nothing I can do. We retreat. No, we flee. A frightened crowd rushes out into the night through the southern gate. They are chased by the angry howls of demons, killing the last defenders of the citadel. My heart goes out to them, but I'm standing still on the wall. I'm covering the retreat. Demons do not attack. They seethe around you, fall from the sky, strike from all sides at once. They can't be stopped, but they can be distracted. I run to the upper floor of the gate tower. Radiance glows with a golden light in my hands. I permit myself to close my eyes for just one heartbeat. I imagine that the soft glimmering of the sword I see through my closed eyelids is the light of a summer sun. I smile. I open my eyes and call out, "Hey, Discari Spawn! Who wants the best trophy of the night? You know my name, Yaniel. You know how many of you I've killed with this very hand. You want to curry favor with Darzand, Minago, or the echo of your lord? Bring them my head if you can." Roaring and screaming, they rush toward me in a wave of deformed bodies and unfurled wings. The wave crashes against me, spattering my armor with bloody froth. Broken wings and chopped-up bodies plummet to the foot of the tower. In the heat of the battle, I see Joran's pale face down there. He looks up at me in desperation, but he can't help. He is carrying 2 wounded on his shoulders. My city will fall, but my friends will survive. This is what I'm fighting for. I am covering the retreat. The flow of fleeing people gradually dwindles. My armor is broken in many places, and I cannot heal my wounds anymore. The last demon I stabbed with Radiance suddenly recoils, tearing the handle out of my blood-slickened hand. He flies up but falls somewhere far beyond the walls, by the road being taken by this flame. No more golden glow in my hands. The night closes in on me, filled with shrieking, mocking demon laughter. Dresden, I'm dying with you. Light of the sword, righteous Iomade, accept my soul. I know whose memory this is. I've heard about her so many times. Yaniel was a true crusader. Touching her memories is so cleansing. Do you see the future of this sword? Just one of the numerous possibilities. I slide out of my sheath swiftly. I proudly watch the army of warriors led by my lady. I sing, slashing the air, putting courage in their hearts. I am radiance. Tremble, city of Dresden. My lady Yaniel has perished, but I am not done yet. Charge. It is nice to know that this sword's glory days are not over. It has many battles ahead. Take care of it. It's a glorious sword. We'll show him Finian next. Hello, Grandpa Elf. Hello, Finian. I'm coming too again. How long have I been here? They kept me in a cage for 3 days. I know this because 3 times the light under the door disappeared for a long time. Then they chained me to the table and the bladesmith, everybody calls him the bladesmith, he placed a device with a jar over me. It feels like I'm being fried. At first I tried to break free, but I got tired. Then I screamed. But now I've lost my voice, though the pain is burning right through me. I lost consciousness again, but when I woke up the pain was gone, and I wasn't tied to the table anymore. I was standing near it, and someone else was lying on the table, a burned corpse covered with a black crust. The master took out a handsaw and was sawing off his head in a very focused way. I should have run back then, but I couldn't for some reason. This burned corpse had a symbol on his belt, just like I do. An eye and a star. My favorite belt. A good one. Where would a stranger get one? It must have been someone from my clan, some distant family member. Those Crusaders, I was so glad when I saw them. I thought they'd come to help, but how? How was it that I killed them all? Someone told me to, and I obeyed. I don't understand. I understand nothing now. I need to catch my breath. I need all this to stop, even just for a minute. I just have to understand what's happening to me. Just need to rest. That is Finian's past, but what awaits him in the future? The dead have no future, but I see an endless ocean on a good day and a boat flying over the waves. I am so excited, but I don't know whose vision this is. Is this a soul existing here and now, or a soul reborn? Thank you for your story. Please, take care of this young lad. He is finally in the right hands. Do not worsen his suffering by involving him in dishonorable deeds. Come on, Grandpa Elf. I can take care of myself. I'm not a kid. I don't know what horrors you were talking about, but don't you worry about it, alright? Look after yourself. Alright, we'll now show Trendle's scale to him. I am flying. I can finally spread my wings. I'm gliding over a broad river. The sunset has turned its surface smooth like a mirror, and I see my reflection. It is as if another silver dragon is rising to meet me from the depths. But what is it? The scales on my chest are black, and the darkness is spreading over my body. I wake up. A clear sky sways above me, blazing with heat. I am in human form. The red dust of the wound clings to my cracked lips. Someone is carrying me on a stretcher made of shields and spears. I'm so weak I can barely lift my hand to my face. The sight of my own hand terrifies me. It is black, and the skin glistens like scales melted by fire. I probably ought to cry, but I only feel hatred and nausea. All these people around me, out of sympathy for them, did I choose to leave the mountains. I gave up my flights over rivers. I went to the demon's lair. They don't have a scratch on them, but I am infected with foulness. It's not fair. My life is more precious than their pathetic existence. Oh, how I hate them in this moment. And then I suddenly feel shame. No, these are not my thoughts. The Crusaders carrying me are my good friends. I am glad they did not suffer, but I hate them and myself so much. Pain and hatred pierce me all at once. It's all because of them. All because of them. Someone walking beside me touches me, talks to me. But the only thing I hear is, your mentor, he will come. He will help. And I lose consciousness. Such hatred from Trendlev? Wasn't she on our side? Trendlev has come a long way. Her unit was ambushed by demons once, and she was infected with foulness. The Trendlev you met in Canabris has gone through many trials and regained her form of purity. What happened next? Sometimes the past can be as vague as the future. We all know how Trendle's story ended, but the beginning is hidden from us. Maybe if you find something else that used to belong to her, we'll know more about her struggle. However, no matter what we learn, remember, her soul, the soul of a true dragon, overcame every obstacle, endured every torment. She was able to purify herself, for dragons are truly powerful not only in body, but in spirit too. We have more important things to do, and I have to go. Let's take a quick look at the journal here. So, we've got Save Execution, Golden Wars, the Outcast. It looks like everything that we have to do currently in relation to our quests is in the marketplace, and then we just have those other two locations that are kind of far in the south. Well, I guess there's 3 if you include the one that's just going to be picking things up. So, let's see. We're going to talk to Ember real quick, I believe. Tell me about yourself. Well, they call me Ember. I used to live in the River City, and now I walk with you. That's my story. Why do they call you Ember? I've had many names. When I was little, Mom and Dad called me Dove or Cricket or Kitten. Dad called me his ray of sunshine. And when my mom was cross, she called me by a long name, a grown-up one. I can't remember it, no matter how hard I tried. Then when I came to live in the River City, the good people called me different funny names, like Ember or Torch or Smoky. I don't know why. They called me Birdbrain because I have a crow. They called me Lucky 7 because of my fingers. They sometimes called me Grilled Meat and said I was stupid. But I didn't feel hurt. I mean, they're right. I really am silly. They didn't really mean to hurt me. I like Ember. It's a good word. Embers are like people. On the outside, they're gray and cold like stones, but they're warm inside. You can blow on them and they'll start a fire to help you survive a cold night. And that's wonderful, isn't it? Ember it is. Where are you from? Far away, from the flower country. It's so beautiful there. Everywhere there's flowers blooming, golden towers and waterfalls, and everyone is like me, with pointy ears. There's no round-eared people, no short ones, no horned heads. We lived there together, me and Mom and Dad. Mom and Dad argued a lot. Dad used to say that all the good people should go on the crusade and fight the demons, and Mom said he was silly because it was far away and none of our business, and that he shouldn't abandon his child. She meant me. But he didn't abandon me, he took me along. He said I was born the same year that the hole to the demon world opened. He said it was a sign that I would be one of those heroes who close it. Of course, I'm not a hero, but I'm here anyway, helping as much as I can. So, if that is true, Ember is hundreds of years old here as well. Where did you get your scars? Dad taught me to pray to Iomade. He said she was a kind goddess, and she called people to crusade against evil. The knights who burned my dad and me worshipped her too. They even lit the fire with a prayer to her, and she did nothing to help us. But then one kind knight, alone, without any gods, changed his mind and saved me. I think the gods are the same as us. They don't understand anything, and they're scared of everything, so they hurt themselves and the rest of us. People worship the gods only because they're afraid of being responsible for themselves. And the gods listen to the praise, and they become smug and arrogant, and begin to believe that they're better than us. But they're no better. They're silly sinners just like the rest of us. Sometimes I pray to the gods, different ones. The good ones, the bad ones. I ask them to stop. Stop fighting and hurting each other. I don't know if they ever hear me, but if they do, I mean, the knight who wanted to burn me, he was able to change his mind and do a good deed. If he can change, maybe Baphomet can too. Where did you get your scars? It happened by accident. My dad and I came sailing down the river to join the crusade. Dad said all the good people were going to the whirlwind to heal it. He said the Crusaders were the best people in the world, and together we were going to win. But when we arrived at the River City, the Crusaders got everything mixed up. They thought my dad and I were bad, and decided to burn us at the stake. Dad died, and I cried so loudly that one good night realized it was all a big mistake. He started yelling at the other Crusaders, even the one in charge, and then walked right into the fire and got me out. The others wanted to stop him, but he took out his sword and scared them away. The kind knight took me to a healer. I later learned that while the knight was pulling me from the flames, he himself was burned so badly that he died not long after. But I'm still alive. A few fingers missing, and my skin is funny. I've lived in the River City ever since. I never had my own house, but I had many friends, And then the demons came, and I met you. And you know what happened after that. We'll go with the good option. Is it really so easy for you to forgive them? I'm not sure I could be so merciful. No one can say how much good or evil they have in them. No one can see into their own soul. No one knows until it's time to check. How did you survive on the streets? There are many good people in the River City. When I sang for them in the street, they'd often give me coins or bread or sometimes even clothes. I shared everything with the other homeless, and they showed me where it's safe to sleep, where I could get out of the rain and cold, where I could find discarded things. When the demons destroyed the River City, I looked for my friends, but I found no one. They probably all died. The homeless have no supplies or weapons or basements to hide in, and the knights won't protect them either. Knights are like gods, so self-important. They're saving the world, after all. What do they care about the homeless? Where do your magical powers come from? These tricks? I have them from my grandma. She used to be my father's grandma, and before that his father's. I've never seen her myself, but she's very clever and kind. When I lived on the street, sometimes she left food for me on a blanket in the winter. Sometimes I feel her stroking my hair as I fall asleep, but if I open my eyes, there's no one near. She also sent me Soot. She tells Soot how to do different tricks, and Soot teaches me. We've succeeded at a low religion check, and we are assuming that her patron is Andaletta, who's a powerful Archon, which is an angel. Thank you for your answers. Oh, not at all. I didn't really tell you anything. You're always so cheerful. How do you manage to remain so hopeful when we're surrounded by such horror? Hope? No, hope is a lie. What should we hope for? This world is in the hands of demons. The gods can't help, or they don't want to, or they forgot about us altogether. The people know they're about to be eaten by demons, but they still quarrel with each other and fight and steal. There's no hope, only us. We'll have to win without hope. It'll be hard. The entire abyss is against us. We can only win by some miracle, which means we'll have to make one happen. What other choice do we have? We'll work a miracle and win, because we have to. I have to go. So go. Alright. I think that's about all the time we have for this episode. In the interim, between the next episode, I'm going to kind of sort through my inventory here. At the start of the next episode, we'll level up anyone who needs to be leveled up. We'll talk to Darren, we'll talk to Lan, and then we'll hit to the streets and take care of the remainder of the Market Square. Thank you so much for spending time with me and watching this video. If you liked what you saw, please subscribe to the channel. Please leave me a comment if you have anything to say. And otherwise, see you next time.